Hello friends, welcome back. In this video tutorial, we'll see what is load balancer, how we can use load balancer, and what is the benefits we'll get using the load balancer. Also, we'll do the complete end-to-end setup using Amazon EC2. Okay, so let's start. So actually in computing, the load balancing refers to the process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources. That means how a task of in your computing, right? There will be multiple processes and tasks will be running. How those tasks being equally distributed among all the resources upon the load. Okay, so a load balancer acts as the traffic curve sitting in front of your servers and routing client requests across all servers, capable of fulfilling those requests in a manner that maximizes the speed and capacity utilization and ensures that no one server is overworked, which could degrade the performance. That means your load balancer actually will be sitting in front of your in between the client and the server, right? Whenever the user and the client sends the request, or the request comes based on the load, it will distribute the task, distribute the signal to the corresponding server, the available server, right? So if a single server goes down, the load balancer redirects the traffic to the remaining online server. Okay, in case of any issues, or the server got crashed, right? The application will go down, so immediately load balancer will detect that issue and redirect the request whatever we are getting from the user to the available server, right? So when a new server is added to the server group, the load balancer automatically starts to send the request to it. So we can add new servers to the load balancer and remove the servers whatever is defect servers. Whenever you add new server, the load balancer automatically detect that and start sending the request whatever comes from the user, right? Okay, here is the diagram. If you see, the request coming from the end user, that is the client, sending the request to the internet, and it comes the load balancer. Then load balancer will decide how to and where to distribute the task or request to the servers. Okay, here what happens, suppose there are two active servers is currently now, based on the loads, based on the usage. Okay, based on the user traffic, it will send the request to the servers. Now what happens if the request increases, if the load increases, what will happen? It will just redirect the request to the another available server. Suppose in case the server, one of the server goes down, right? What happens? It will automatically redirect the request whatever we are getting from the user to the another available server, right? In this way load balancer acts. So what is the functions of the load balancer? So these are the functions what load balancer uses. So it distributes client request or network load efficiently across multiple servers. Okay, and it ensures high availability and reliability by sending requests only to servers that are online. Okay, so also it provides the flexibility to add or subtract servers as demand dictates. Okay, if there is more demand, we can add more servers. Okay, if there are no less demand, then we can decrease the server. It depends on the depends on the load. Okay, so what are the benefits? What it does, it reduced downtime, scalable, redundancy, flexibility, and efficiency. Okay, so these are the benefits of using the load balancing technique. Okay, so there are three types of load balancer. One is application load balancer, the next one is the network load balancer, and classic load balancer. So these three type of load balancer you will use based on your requirement. So whenever you are going to use the application load balancer, you have to choose accordingly what load balancer is suitable for your project or for your requirement. Okay, so what is application load balancer? Application load balancers are best suited for load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffics. Okay, and they are operate at layer 7. So if you have seen that OCI model, right, OS layer models, so it falls under the application layer, that is layer 7. Okay, and they are very intelligent, and we can create advanced request routing, sending specified request to the specific web servers. Okay, so what is network load balancer? Network load balancers are best suited for load balancing of TCP traffic where extreme performance is required. If whenever you need more and a high performance, then you have to go for network load balancer. Okay, and it operates at layer 4, that is transport layer. Okay, so network load balancer are capable of handling millions of requests per second while maintain ultra low latencies. So it is used for extreme performance. Okay, so what is the classic load balancer? Classic load balancers are the legacy elastic load balancers. Okay, you can load balance using HTTP and HTTPS applications, and it also uses the layer 7. It has some specific features such as X forwarding and sticky sessions. What happens if your application stops responding? The classic load balancer responds with a 504 error. Okay, if your application does not work, has some bug or issues, what will happen? It will throw some error. The error code will be 504. Okay, so if your application is having some issues, suppose that could be many things, right? Either it could be your server side, web server side, or it could be your database side. Okay, so you have to fix the issues accordingly. So your engineer has to fix the issue by seeing the logs or whatever, whether it is web server side, website, or any database side issues. Okay, so here is the OSI model. If you see, so we are talking about the application layer, that is layer 7, and it uses the end user layer like HTTP, FTP, IRC, SSH, and DNS. These HTTP and all SSH protocols. Okay, and if you see the layer 4 is the transport layer. Okay, so that is the end-to-end connection by using the TCP and UDP. You just go through this OSI model. If you want to learn more on this, just you can Google it and get from the internet. You can get lots of information on these OSI models. Okay, and these are the networking concepts. So let's move on. So we have also the cross-zone load balancing. So we'll see what is cross-zone load balancing and how it is beneficial. Okay, so cross-zone load balancing enables you to load balance across multiple availability zone. You can set the load balancing in one availability zone. In one availability zone, you could have multiple servers. Okay, you can set up the load balancer in that way. Also, it provides and a flexibility of using cross-zone load balancing. That means the load balancer you can use the multiple availability zone, right? So here first we'll see the no cross-zone load balancing, and what is the problem with that, and we'll see then cross-zone load balancing. So in case of this no cross-zone load balancing, if you see the user is sending the request, right? If the user is sending the request, let me show here. Okay, if you see here, the user is sending the request to the route 53. The requests are being routed, and if you see here, we have two availability zone. One is we can see here, this is up south 1A, and another one is up south 1B. So this is nothing but our Asia Pacific Mumbai location, okay, the region and this availability zone. So availability zone 1 and 2, we have, suppose the load balancer is set up in the both the availability zone, and we can see here the first availability zone we have 4 servers, and here we have only one server set up, but the traffic we have set up like the request being sent 50% to the uh, availability zone 1 and 50% to the availability zone 2. Okay, so what happens if this 50% and we have 4 servers there, these 50% requests been equally distributed among 4 the servers. Okay, however these 50%, those though we have only 50%, only one server, those complete 50% traffic comes to here, and this is the wasted because the 50% traffic only being handled by the one server. Okay, and here multiple, this is no cross zone load balancing. For the cross zone load balancing, if we'll see how it looks like, see the cross zone load balancing, it happens here. If you see here the same 50% request being traffic sent to here availability zone 1 and availability zone 2, these request, what happens, this 50% request whatever is come to here, this equally distributed to the availability zone 1 from 2 to 1. So that means, so equally all the servers being the traffic is being distributed among all the servers and 20% each. So in this way the cross zone load balancing works and it equally distributed the task. Okay, so now we'll see how the load balancing setup can be done. Okay, so I'll show you in action. So let's start. Okay, log into your AWS management console. So just where we have to go, that load balancer options available under EC2. Okay, click on EC2. In the EC2 dashboard you can see we don't have any instances running. Okay, if you go here in the dashboard left hand side here, you can see here the load balancer and the target groups. We'll see how we can set up this load balancers group. Okay, just for that what we need, we'll use our instances, EC2 instances. Okay, for that what we have to do, we have to create 2 EC2 instances. Let's open it. Click on the launch instances, and okay, so if you have any doubt or you have not worked on this EC2 instance before, what you'll do, I have already a video created on EC2 instances, how to what is EC2 instance and how to create the EC2 instance and work on that. So the links are in the description below. You can just go and have a watch how to create the EC2 instances. Okay, so what I'm going to use, just going to use the Amazon free tier eligible. Just select it, T2 micro. Okay, next. Okay, here so I'm just going to one instances, and what I'm going to do here, so in this network default VPC I'm going to create, just use default VPC, and the subnet here we can see here, right, 3 availability zones. So I'm just going to select one availability zone for this instance. Okay, add storage. Okay, so it's okay, click on, now just add a tag. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going, okay, let me add a tag first. Name the tag, suppose this is web server 01. Okay, got it. Then security groups. Okay, so you can use the existing security group or you can create a new one. So I'm going to use the existing security group. You can see here the my dev server. Okay, it has both HTTP and SSH protocols active. Okay, the firewall is set up. Now I'm going reviewing and launching the instance. Okay, now just launch it, and you can use the key pair if you have already, or you can create a new one. Okay, I'm just using the existing one, launch instance. Okay, so what we can do, we can quickly go and create another instance. Okay, one instance is being getting created. Just configure instance details. Okay, and here I'm going to select the next availability subnet availability zone, that is 1B. Okay, now add stores, tags. So here I'm going to give a name like web server 02. Okay, now security group, I can use the existing one. Okay, now review and launch. So use the existing key here, launch a chance. Here it is. So our first EC2 instance is already started running. Okay, the next one is now pending status. Okay, so let it, okay, now the both the EC2 instances are running now. Okay, so what we can do now, just in the load balancing section below, right, you can see here we have load balancers and target groups. So let's create a group first. Okay, target group. We can create target group, and here we are going to choose instances. Okay, because we are going to use EC2 instances. Also you can use the IP addresses. If you have on premises your servers in a different cloud or different on-premises server, you can get the IP address and create give it here and set up the servers in the load balancer. Okay, or you can use the lambda function as well, but for the time being I'm going to use instances. Okay, just give a name. Suppose I'm going to give a load balancer 1. Okay, load balancer 1, the protocol HTTP. Okay, and health check, here we can use the root directory to do the health check. You can check to see the health check options where we are giving HTTP protocol and which directory to be checked, this root directory. Okay, here we have some advanced health check options. You can see it over here, the port, the traffic port, and health check threshold 5 on health threshold 2. These are the seconds. Okay, this gets timeout in 5 seconds, and the interval is 30 seconds. Okay, so, and here on this, go and hit next. And if you see it here, our two available instances are here. We can see it here, right? Web server 1 and web server 2. These two servers are running. Okay, and we have security group attached to it. So what we can do next, here the port is, you can see 80. Just select these two server and register these two targets. Okay, what I'm going to do is just hit include as pending below. Okay, so now these two servers, you can see the status as pending. Okay, just hit and create target group. Okay, so now our target group is created. Okay, let's go and create the load balancer. Here you can see the load balancer is created now. Okay, we can create new load balancer. Just create load balancer. Here you can see we have these types of, right, the different types of load balancer application. Network load balancer, a new load balancer has been added here, that is gateway load balancer, as well as we have the previous generation load balancer as well, right, classic load balancer. So what we are going to do, we are going to create an application load balancer. Just hit create. Just give a name like I'm going to my ELB. Okay, my elastic load balancer, and add listener is there, and availability zone, I'm going to select all 3 availability zones. Okay, now global accelerator, you can choose it or leave it blank. Okay, security group, so we can just add the existing security group. Okay, now configure routing. So what we are going to do, we are going to add our target into this load balancer, right? So you can create a new target, or you can just give the existing target group over here. See, we have already the load balancer one target group created for this. Okay, so go next and register your targets in this port 80. Okay, now review. Okay, so my ELV and all these informations are here. Now hit create. So it says successfully created load balancer. Okay, now you can see it over here. Yes, so our load balancer is created. DNS name is there, status is provisioning, and here type is application type, right? If you go and see the target groups, now the load balancer is added as this group. My ELB load balancer is added to this group. Okay, so what next we'll do, now just install two Apache server into our instances. Okay, so quickly I'm just going to connect to the EC2 instance and then installing the applications. Okay, HTTPD server. So let's get our public IP. You can see it here, the public IP is here. Okay, let me open my terminal. So here is, you can connect to the server, give yes, here it is. So I'm now inside to this server, right? What I'm going to do, web server 1, I'm inside the web server 1. Just clear it. I'm going to install the Apache server. Okay, so what needs to be done? First, update the Linux. Okay, update the server, right? Yum. Sorry, you have to be on a super user. Sudo yum. Okay, update hyphen y, enter. Okay, so all no package is marked for update, so nothing to that to be updated. That means this environment is up to date. Now we can install sudo yum. Okay, install httpd. Okay, okay, it's now getting installed. Okay, completed. So what we can do now, we can start the service. Once it is installed, we can start the services. Okay, so sudo service httpd, then start. Okay, okay, so our service is now started. So what we can do next, we can go to cd var www/html. This is the root directory, home directory. You can put your index.html over here, right? Just go over here in the functionality, and nothing is there. So we can create one index file here. Vi, I'm going to use vi editor, vi index.html. Okay, so I'm just going to write a small HTML file over here, HTML, and just going to close it. HTML, some heading tags I'm going to add it, suppose h1 tag, right? And here I'm going to add, suppose my web server 01. Okay, close it, h1. Just a simple HTML, just simple HTML file. I'm just going to save it here. So press enter. Okay, so that this needs to be open in root as root user, right? Open with sudo. So what I'm going to use, sudo vi index.html, right? So paste the code here. Index.html file is created now. Okay, So what we can do, just go there, get the public IP. Okay, and here we can see the server is up and running. See, the server is running now. We can see our web page is working, my web server 01. Okay, so same thing we can do for the other server as well. I can give my web server 2. Okay, close it. Sure. Okay, so okay, let's go and check whether it is working or not. Here we can do web server is 2. Wow, here it is, right? So our web server 2 also running. So what we can do next, just go to the load balancer. Okay, just go to the load balancer here, our DNS name, right? So this is our DNS name. Just copy the DNS name, copy it and select it here, paste it here. Okay, okay, so our load balancer, you can see here it here, so it is redirected to the server 1. Okay, now just hit refresh it. Okay, seems it's not working. We need to fix something. Okay, let's see. Okay, go to the target group. Okay, select it and go down. Okay, if you see it here, the path is given it here, right? The path is we have given us root path, right? So we have to specify what needs to be monitored. So just mention like index.html, this file to be checked, right? Monitor, then save. Okay. Once you save, just go and refresh the page, right? Refresh it. See, it's working now. Okay, so now once the traffic no, we get refreshed, right? It goes to server 1 and server 2, right? The server keeps changing, right? So this is what and the load balancer and how it works. Okay, so hope you understood the concept of load balancer and you understood how you can set up the load balancer properly. Okay, if you have any doubt or any concerns, to write your comments in the comment section below, and if you have any other queries, you can ask me also. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe it now. You'll get notified when I add new videos and new tutorials on my channel. Okay, thanks again.